Good
Good afternoon,
afternoon.
ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon,
Good
ma'am.
afternoon,
Good
ma'am.
afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Uh, तो हमने last what we had done. We had to do. So we had to do recurrence relation, I think, of block 1. That is the last thing which is left. So we had seen the asymptotic notations and how we calculate the performance of an algorithm. Now we are talking about solving recurrences. So recurrence, if you talk about recurrence is used basically for iteration algorithms, or you can say recursive algorithms, where you are recursive
Excuse me,
algorithm.
ma'am.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt. Actually,
Yes.
ma'am, I joined for the today first time.
Hmm.
So, like, how can I like recording
Same here,
last
ma'am.
recording of that previous?
You can go
Same here,
to
ma'am.
RC Delhi
Ma'am,
one.
as per the schedule,
Yes.
we got this is supposed to be the first class or first counseling session for that
I have no
MCS
idea
211.
how you have got the what thing, but whatever, maybe your admission information to the center must have gone late, so that's why that schedule has gone. But we had already covered 2 sessions on 8th and 9th of October. But if you want to see the previous sessions, just go to RC Delhi 1 website. Sorry, YouTube channel, RC Delhi 1 YouTube channel. You will find different lectures on that, right? Right. If I show you,
Also, ma'am, regarding the doubts for assignments, can we ask the doubts here itself in this session?
yeah, you can. So you will find certain for MCA. Suppose if you want to say MCS 211, I don't know they will have it or not. So you can subscribe to this channel. They have videos, all the videos for the course codes also. Different course codes are there. So here they have different programs actually for MCA also. They will have that, right? You have to search for that. I'm not. We have to see that for MCAOL. The different lectures will be there. There are different lectures here. So just go through them, right? So you will find it on RC Delhi one website. Yes.
So
What
you can find
question you
all
have?
the recordings, right?
There will be all the recordings. Maximum recordings will be there.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
Will this session be recorded and shared later to us?
It will be shared on RC Delhi one website only when it will be shared, right?
Okay, okay. But the session is being recorded, right, ma'am?
Yeah, it is recorded.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Welcome. What question you have regarding the assignment? Who was asking?
Ma'am, yes, ma'am. The lab assignment, ma'am, which language do we have to do those assignments in? Like in Python or which
That is
language?
your wish. Whatever language you are conversant with, you can implement that in the. If you are conversant in C, it is okay. It is if you are conversant in C++, it is okay. If you are conversant in Python, it is okay. If you are conversant with Java, it is okay. No problems.
Okay, ma'am. And the assignments need to be handwritten or we have to copy paste the
The
code?
lab assignment, you need not be handwritten. You just paste the code and the screenshots of the output screen
Right,
on
ma'am.
a Word
Right.
file. Paste it on the Word file, save it, and upload it on the thing, right?
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so
And
much, ma'am.
theory assignment should be handwritten.
Okay, ma'am.
Lab assignment, you can give a soft copy. Anybody else? Should we start the class?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, I have a doubt.
Yes.
Ma'am, I actually completed the assignment, but
Yeah.
I recently got the front page, so I already uploaded it. What to do?
What you have uploaded where?
In the LMS.
LMS. I don't think so. LMS will allow you to upload again.
Yes,
No
ma'am.
problems. You have not put the front page.
Yes, ma'am. I want to do the front page like
You
that.
have not mentioned your name and enrollment number on the page or any page.
No, ma'am. I thought it was my account, so I thought it will be reading as my
No
my own.
problem. If you have not mentioned from the LMS, maybe they will take your name and everything will go automatically.
Oh,
If
okay.
you're
Thank
not
you.
able to, but generally for other assignments, just keep in mind, mention you should attach your ID card, IGNOU ID card, and your name and front page name and enrollment number and everything, right?
Oh, okay, ma'am.
That should be mentioned.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So we were talking about the recursive algorithms, right? So recursive algorithms are those algorithms which call itself, right, in iteration. So complexity analysis of iteration algorithm is much easier as compared to recursive algorithms. But once the occurrence relation or equation is defined for a recursive algorithm, which is not difficult task, then it becomes easier task to obtain the asymptotic bounds theta or O for the recursive solution. In this unit, we focus on recursive algorithm exclusively. So recurrence relation is for recursive algorithms which are calling itself right. So three techniques for solving recurrence equation are substitution method, recursion tree method, and master method. These are the three methods we'll be talking about for solving the recurrence relation. So here they are defining what is a recurrence relation. We often use a recurrence relation to describe the running time of a recursive algorithm. So recurrence relation is basically used to find the running time of a recursive algorithm. Recursive algorithm is can be defined as an algorithm which makes a recursive call to itself with smaller data size, right? So many problems are solved recursively, especially those problems which are solved through divide and conquer techniques. So divide and conquer techniques generally follow the recursive methods. So in this case, the main problem is divided into smaller sub-problems which are solved recursively. So like, for example, the divide and conquer technique are followed by quicksort, merge sort, binary search, status multiplication algorithm. These are the algorithms which follow the recursive algorithm thing or the recurrence relation. So like all recursive functions, a recurrence relation also consists of two steps, one or more initial condition and recursive definition of a problem. So for example, they are giving a example of a Fibonacci series. Everybody knows what is a Fibonacci series?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Right? So 0 and 1 are the initial things, right? 0 and 1 are the initial values. Then you keep on adding 0 plus 1 will be 1. 1 plus 1 previous value you keep on adding. 1 plus 1 will be 2. 2 plus 1 will be 3. 3 plus 2 will be 5. 5 plus 3 will be 8. Like that Fibonacci series will be there. So F0, F1, F2 Fibonacci sequence values will be there up to Fn whatever value of n is there. So they are saying function n is equal, Fn is equal to 0 if n is 0. If your number of terms are 0, then f that is it will return 0 only. If n is equal to 1, then it will return 1 here, not 0. It will return 1. Mistakenly they have written 0. So if number of terms are 1, then fn function will return 1. If number of terms are 0, so function will return 0. And if it is greater than equal to 2, 2 and more than 2 terms are there, then the function is fn minus 1 plus fn minus 2. Right? So this is a recurrence relation they are saying. So first, if you go for the first step, basic step, the given recurrence says that if n is 0, then f0 is 0. F0 means n's value you are keeping 0, so f0 will be 0. And if n is 1, so f1 will be 1. It is not 0 here, it is 1, right? So f1 will be 1. These are the two basic conditions. These two conditions or values where recursion does not call itself is called an initial condition or base condition. So these are the two initial conditions. Here no call to itself, function calling to itself is not happening. These are the base conditions. Now here your recursive step will come, recursive step. This step is used to find new terms f2, f3 up to fn from the existing preceding terms. So from the existing preceding terms, you are finding these terms from f2, f3 and all. So by using the formula, fn is equal to fn minus 1 plus fn minus 2, where for n greater than equal to 2. So this formula says that by adding two previous sequence or terms, we get the next term. So n minus 1 is the first term or the first and second term. First and second term, two previous first and second term you are adding and you are getting a new term. This is what it means, right? For example, f2 will be equal to f1 and f0. f1 and f0, right? This is the first term, this is the second term. So 1 plus 0 will be 1, f2 will be 1. Then f3 will be found by f2 plus f1. So second term and first term, 1 plus 1, which is 2. f4 will be found f3 plus f2, 2 plus 1 is equal to 3, so on. Just an example they are giving. Now, if you have to find the factorial of a number, everybody knows what is a factorial, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So factorial,
Yes, ma'am.
factorial will
Yes,
be like n into n minus 1, n minus 2, 3, 2, 1 for n greater than equal to 0. For this, you are finding. Factorial function is defined. How the factorial function is defined? N factorial is equal to 1. If n is equal to 1, you all everybody knows that if n is 1, that is number of terms is 1, for which factorial has to be found, then the factorial will be 1 only. If it is greater than 1, then it will be n into n minus 1 factorial. N into n minus 1 factorial. So you are calling the function n again. So here, how do you write the algorithm for this function is int fact, and you are passing int n, the number for which factorial has to be found. Inside the function, you have statements like if n is equal to 0, then return 1, right? Else return n into n minus 1. I think it should not be 0, it should be if n is equal to 1, then return 1, right? Else return n into n minus, yes.
Ma'am, 0 factorial will also become 1, right?
Yeah, it will
So
become
if
1.
if
Okay.
n is 0 also, it will
Say
become
n is 0, then return 1. Else if it is, I think it should be n
0 or 1.
0 or 1.
Less than equal to 1. Less than equal to 1.
Less than equal to 1 will be negative also. So that should not be correct.
Correct.
Right?
0
So
or 1.
you
Yes.
can have two conditions, 0 or 1. N is equal to 0 and n is equal to 1, then return 1. Else, if it is greater than 1, then return n into n minus 1. Right? So this is the condition. So what is happening is here, n into here, your function name should appear fact n minus 1. Can you understand that? They have not mentioned it. I am telling you. Here your function name again will appear fact n minus 1. That means n is the number for which you are finding the factorial. Suppose the number is 4. So 4 into again factorial function is called 4 minus 1 is 3. So fact 3 is passed here. Again it is checked whether it is 0 or 1. So it is not 0 or 1. So it will come here. So it will be 4. Earlier it was 4. Then 4 into 3 into again 3 minus 1. So again 2 is fact 2 is passed here. Again it is checked. Again 4 into 3 into 2, and now 2 minus 1 will be 1. And now again it is checked. So it will return this. So it will give you the final result, which is 4 into 3 into 2, right? the factorial. So this is what a recursive call is there. You are calling the function fact n minus 1 again and again. It is being called until your last you reach the last digit, that is 1. So now let us try to understand the efficiency of this algorithm. So let n denoted the number of multiplication required to execute the n factorial. So that is Tn denotes the number of times the line 4 is executed in factorial algorithm. So this is the line, how many times the multiplication is happening. This will the calculation of that will be our efficiency of the algorithm, right? So we have the initial condition T0 is 1, since n is equal to 0, fact simply returns number of multiplication is 0. No multiplication is there. Initial condition, no multiplication is there. Right. When n is greater than 1, the line 4 performs 1 multiplication plus fact is recursively called with input n minus 1. It means by definition of n, additional n minus 1 number of multiplications are required. So what is it saying? That when we come to fourth step, so this is not requiring any multiplication, but when we come to this step, so you are once multiplying n to n minus 1 to the function, again calling the function n minus 1. So that means n one multiplication plus n minus 1 times multiplication will be happening more. Right. So we can write a recursive relation for the factorial as Tn is equal to 1 if n is 0 and 1 plus n minus 1. Right, 1 plus n minus 1. One time multiplication plus n minus 1 time multiplication will be there.
Ma'am, here do we have to specify what is the condition under which the second statement will happen?
So condition is already mentioned here, na? This is
No, when we state in the statement, ma'am, when we state the relation, are we supposed to mention there that when n is 0, it is 1? Otherwise, it is assumed that for all non-zero values, we don't have to mention there.
No, you can mention it. You can mention it that if n is equal to 0, and T0, that means when n is 0, T0, the time the initial condition is 1 only, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Then when Tn is greater than 1, then 1 plus n minus 1 time will be there.
Okay, ma'am. Noted. Yeah. Thank you.
Right. So that is how you are calculating x to the x factorial or whatever, right? Now we are calculating x to the power n. That means we are calculating the power, right? The exponentiation, x to the power n. So suppose you have a power function, x and n are passed, x is the number and power exponent is n. So if n is equal to 0, anything to the power 0 is what? 1, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So if n is 0, that means your exponentiation of power is 0, so it will return 1 only. X to the power 0 is 1, right? If n is equal to 1, suppose n becomes 1, so x to the power 1 will be x only.
Yes, ma'am. Any number.
Else, now if n is greater than 1 now, so return x into x comma n minus 1. So what we are saying is x into power function is called again x comma n minus 1. So what we are doing is first we are multiplying, then that number is n minus 1 time, then we take. That means first suppose power was 3. So first is x, then 3 minus 1 is 2. Again it is called here. Then 2 minus 1 will be 1. So then this number will be there. So it will be x into x into x, something like that. That is how they are taking it. The base case is reached. So our first initial base cases is when n is 0 and n is 1. These are the two base cases. So the algorithm 3 performs one comparison and one return statement. Therefore, 0 and 1 is equal to O, 1 is equal to A. So they are saying this when n is 0 and n is 1, so it is returning, suppose it is returning 1 only, just for an example, right? So is equal to a, we are saying it is returning. When n is greater than 1, algorithm 3 performs one recursive call with input parameter n minus 1 at line 6 and some constant number at basic operations. Thus we obtain the recurrence relation as you can say Tn or Fn or whatever function name. Fn is equal to 1 is equal to a, n plus 1 plus b. So they are saying that a and b you are returning. So a if it is 1, your you can name it like this. If 1, if your 1 if n is equal to 0, right? And you can also give another statement and you can also give like this 1 comma if n is equal to 0 and x if n is equal to 1. So you can give two conditions, base conditions. They are not given, I am telling you, you can give like this 1 comma if n is equal to 0 and x comma, that is same x will be returned if n is equal to 1 and 1 plus x into x plus n minus 1 recursive steps will be there, that you can say. I think they are talking about. Okay. So now what they are talking about, we just go to the next, the different methods. They are just shown you how you represent it in a function, the different recursive functions, how you represent that. Now we are talking about the methods for solving the recurrency relation. So there are 3 methods. One is substitution, the other is master method, the one is recursion tree method. So there are 3 methods. What is substitution method? So substitution is opposite of induction. We start at n and move backward. A substitution method is one in which we guess a bound and then use mathematical induction to prove whether our guess is correct or not. So it comprises 2 steps: guess the asymptotic bound of the solution, prove the correctness of the guess using mathematical induction. So here what they are talking about is, I'll just take you to an example I have with me. So for example, here they are talking about, suppose recurrence relation of merge sort algorithm, you have to take it. So in merge sort, what happens is you divide the algorithm into subparts, right? And then you start sorting it. And after sorting the subparts, you try then merge it to get the final result. So here Tn is equal to 1 if n is equal to 1. So this is there. And 2Tn minus 2 plus n if n is greater than 1. This is a function. So you have to solve this, suppose function. This is a function they have given. Now you have to solve it. So how they are telling you how this 2Tn by 2 plus n is come. Suppose there is a function called void fun int n. If n is greater than 0, cout n and fun n minus 1. So what they are saying is, so you have a function which has fun and int n is passed into the function. If that n is greater than 0, you are printing that n and the function is again called with n minus 1 times. So what is happening here is that one by one the function value is in descending order, maybe you are giving the values, right? So suppose 5 is passed as here, so 5 is greater than 0, yes, so you are printing 5 and then you are again coming back to the function and n minus 1 will be 4, then again it is checked and then 4 is printed and then 3 is printed, then 2 is printed, then 1 is printed and then it becomes 0, so it is not greater than 0 and end of the function, right? So here if first condition for in this first condition is checked. So one is the what you say perform the time for checking the condition is 1. See out and printing again 1, and function calling n minus 1 means t n minus 1. So this is one time, this is one time, and this is t n minus 1 times. You are calling the function. Right. So the total time for this function will be how much? If you have to solve this
n times. N
t,
times now.
t n minus 1 plus 2. No? There is 2, 1 plus 1 plus t n minus 1. Yes? 1 plus 1 plus t n minus 1. Yes or no?
N plus 1 time.
Yes.
Tn
1 plus
t
1
plus
is
2.
2. 1 plus 1 is 2. Plus tn minus 1 is how much will that be? Tn minus 1 plus 2. And if you
Yes.
open the bracket, how much that becomes?
Tn minus 1.
Tn minus 1. This is the running time of this algorithm. Understood? Right. Same way, when we come to this question, void a int, again a function, we are passing n as an integer, and if n is greater than 0, now we are running a for loop for I is equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus, right? Print n, we are printing it, and a minus n, again the function is called. Don't see the small capital letters, mistakenly they have written, it is smaller only. So a n minus 1, again this function is called. So what we are doing is, suppose we pass 5 here, and 5 is greater than 0. Yes, I is equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus we are saying. So 5 will be there. I is equal to 0 is set here, and I has to run up to 5, I plus plus. So we are printing 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 has been printed, and then it comes here. Again, the function is called 4, and then 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 is printed, and then again next. The function is always called, and these things are this is running the loop and printing the result. Do you understand that? So if you see, if you see here, n greater than 0, this checking the condition is one time, right? It is happening one time or not, right? The situation is one time. Then for loop, for running a for loop, it is n plus 1 time, because you are checking you are initializing, incrementing, and condition checking n plus 1 time.
Ma'am, from where that 1 came up? Because the loop will run only for the n number of times.
Where 1?
Ma'am, in n plus 1.
Plus
Because the
1.
loop will run for n number of times.
N number of times, and for initializing and incrementing, you are taking 1.
Okay.
Right? And print n will take n number of printing will be there in the loop.
Yes.
Right? And what will be calling the function again? Tn minus 1 times the function will be called again. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am, again.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
now your thing will be how much? Tn minus 1 plus n plus n plus 1 plus 1. How much will that be? Tn minus 1 plus 2n, it will be n plus n will be 2n plus 1 will be 2. Yes?
Ma'am, I have one question.
Yes.
Why for the for loop where it will iterate n plus 1 times, we indicated the number of operations as n plus 1. When we are talking about the recursive functions, right, we are indicating it with t of n plus 1.
T of n
Pardon
plus
me?
1.
N minus 1, sorry, t of n minus 1. Pardon me, but I just wanted to know that why are we using the t time notation there, ma'am? If we say it as just n minus 1 times, is that
Okay, you
also
can say
correct?
n minus 1, no problems. You can say n
Both are
minus
equivalent. Both are equivalent. We are
yeah,
not.
because it is equivalent only because you mention it in t times, so that's why we have put it. Doesn't
Okay,
matter.
because it doesn't matter because we are
Yeah.
anyways calculating the final time by
Yes.
considering all of them as equal. So it is
Yes.
fine if I don't write the t also there.
Yeah, no problems.
Okay, okay, ma'am. Thank you.
So n minus 1 plus 2n plus 2, how much will, if you open the bracket, how much it will come out to be? N plus 2n will be, I think, 3n. And 2 minus 1 will be 2. I think this is not there. N minus 1 plus n, it is not that.
Hello, ma'am. One
Yes.
doubt.
Yes.
So, one thing. So, on for loop, it is mentioned n plus one, and under that for loop, print n is printing for n times. Am I correct?
Yes.
Means that. So,
Because
means
n times it will be printed now. Inside the loop, how many times printing is happening?
means for each value of I, print n will happen once, right?
What?
For each value of I, print n loop will run only once.
Yes, so it is
if
n only, na? N times it is running, na?
okay, so it's n time running. So outside of for loop means whatever line written n plus one, that is correct. But beside print n, there is another n is printed. Means I got confused. Like is it
N
n or
number of
only
time
one?
printing is happening. How many number of time printing is happening? That is what it means.
Okay.
It is not
Okay,
this
now got it.
n. It is not this n. It is how many number of times printing is happening. That is n.
Okay. Means for loop is running, means each line running for means for loop is running one plus n time, then print n is running for n time, right? You are telling that.
Right. If you are
Okay.
running
Got it.
n times the for loop, printing will be done n times only.
Correct. Got it.
Right. So it should be, I think, 3n 3n plus 1 will be 3n plus 1, I think. If we open the bracket, not tn minus 1 plus.
Then maybe those are getting ignored because
Or they have taken this 2 as they are saying that you don't take this 2, just you can avoid these 2, and then your equation will become tn minus 1 plus n. What they are saying. So here your equation will be Tn is equal to 1 if n is equal to 0 and Tn minus 1 plus n if n is greater than 0. According to this equation. Just an example. Then this is Fibonacci 1, Fibonacci fib n. If n is less than equal to 1, return 1. So here your comparison is, your checking is done, and here your returning is again one statement is run. So one time it is there. Then return fib n minus 1 plus fib n minus 2. So your fib function is called for n minus 1, then n minus 2. So it will be t n minus 1 plus t n minus 2. I think it should not be plus 1. There is no requirement of plus 1. It is tn minus 1 plus tn minus 2 will be this. It will be returning these much time. So tn minus 1 plus tn minus 2 plus 2 should be there for these two statements. So basically, if we discard this 2, which is there, we don't require this 2. We are just concerned with this one, this part only. So it is tn minus 1 plus tn minus 2. This is the only part, because these are the initial condition. We don't need to see to this. The main thing which require the time, which will be the main time efficiency, will be this Tn minus 1, Tn minus 2 if n is greater than 1. That is the main thing. This 1, if n less than equal to 1, it doesn't matter. We are not taking this into consideration. We are taking this only as the efficiency of the algorithm of recurrence relation. This one is not there. There is no requirement of this one. Only this much condition is there. Right. So these are just an example ki when you are taking the recurrence relation, how we take the time efficiency. Now there are three methods: substitution, recursion, and master method. So in the substitution method, which is back substitution method, which is also known as back substitution method. So if you have Tn is equal to 1 if n is equal to 0, and Tn minus 1 plus 1 if n is greater than 0, this is your function. To solve this function, first you see Tn is equal to Tn minus 1 plus 1. This one we are taking. 1 if n is equal to 0, this you don't require to solve it. If n is 0, the result will be 1 only. For Tn minus 1 plus 1, if n is greater than 0, we are seeing that thing. We have to substitute. Right. So what we are substituting here, so we are substituting minus 1. First in Tn, we are substituting what? Can you see this? We are substituting what? Minus 1 here. If we substitute minus 1, so what will be Tn minus 1? Minus 1 will be there. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
1, right?
Yeah, correct.
So what will be the result of this? Tn minus? What will be the result? N minus 2 plus 1. Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
1 is this. Then if we are taking, suppose now we say that Tn is equal to Tn minus 2 plus 2. Suppose this is there. Instead of n minus 1 plus 1, we are saying your function is Tn minus 2 plus 2. Whether this will also be okay. So in n minus, so in Tn we are passing n minus 2 as the substitution now. So if we pass minus 2 to this function, what will it give? N minus, okay, no. So to this function only, n minus 1 plus 1, we are passing minus 2 as the function. So if minus 2 will give you what? N minus 1 minus 2. You can say that, right? N minus 1 minus 2. How much will that be? N minus 3 plus 1. Right. Same way you can find out for substituting minus 3.
Minus 3.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So when you substitute minus 3, what result you will get? That also. So same way up to Tn is equal to Tn minus k. K is any subsequent value. K can be anything, right?
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
just
Minus k.
plus k value.
Plus
So
k.
if that is
Okay.
there, we are saying that if n is equal to k, suppose n is equal to k, right? So n minus k is equal to what? 0. If n is equal to k, so both value will become 0 or not?
Yes, ma'am. Both
Yes.
value
Yes,
become
ma'am.
0.
Yes, correct.
Right. Otherwise, so we are saying n minus n. It will become n minus n only if n is equal to k. Right?
Correct.
N minus n plus n will be there. Right? Instead of k, we are writing n only because n is equal to k. Yes? So this becomes
Yes.
0. This becomes 0. And this plus n remains here. So what will be Tn? Tn will be equal to T0 is 1. What is T0? If time is 0, when we had seen earlier in our book, when time is 0, it is equal to 1.
Yes. Okay,
Right?
mentioned.
Plus n. So 1 plus n will be n only. Here we don't consider 1 as anything, so we say n only. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So, or you can also put here 0 also, t0 0 also, n plus 0 will be n only, whatever you can say, but we generally say it is 1 plus n is n only. So our
Become order of n.
order will come out to be on.
Yes, ma'am.
Understood? This is how you solve in substitution method. So you keep on substituting the value. Suppose minus 1 you are substituting, minus 2 you are substituting, minus 3, then some k arbitrary value you are substituting, and you say that that value is equal to n only, then what will you are getting? This is what substitution method does, which is also known as back substitution method. Same way here again, Tn is equal to 1 if n is equal to 0, Tn minus 1 plus n if n is greater than 0. This is there. Right? So now again this statement you are not considering, we are considering this one. So this Tn minus 1 plus n, this is the condition. We are substituting what? First minus 1. So Tn minus 1 plus n minus 1, because here also n is there. Right? Can you understand?
Right.
So what will be the
Yes,
result? Tn minus 2 plus n minus 1. Right? You can open this and you can write it, or you can keep it like this only, whatever this is coming. Right? Then again we are substituting now minus 2 Tn minus 2 minus 1 plus n minus 2. Minus 2 we are substituting, right? So
Ma'am, for the second time, do we have to substitute from the result of the first line, or do we have to put the minus 2 in the initial state?
You have to substitute to the result of the first one.
Okay, ma'am.
Right? So again you substitute minus 2, you will get this one. Right? So you keep on substituting. Just an example. So up to some arbitrary value which is k, and where n is equal to k. Right? So in this form you will keep on doing it. So you will get these kinds of things here. If you see here. Right? So in this, now you will substitute k here. So n minus k plus n minus k minus 1 plus n minus k minus 2 plus n minus 1 plus n something. Up to k you will get this kind of a equation. Seeing this, where n is equal to k. If n is equal to k, you will put k instead of k, you will put n here, wherever there is, and you will find out n minus n will be t0. So n minus n plus 1 will return 1 only, n minus n plus 2 will return 2 plus n minus 1 plus n. So this is what will be returned, which is 1 plus 2 plus up to n minus 1 plus 1. Right? And it will so this is, if you see here the series of numbers, sum of numbers. Okay. You know that what is sum of numbers? The formula for that, mathematical induction formula, sum of numbers, n into n plus 1 divided by 2, right? So we have put that, right? So now they are saying you have 2 plus n square plus n whatever, 1 plus, not 2 plus, 1 plus n square plus n divided by 2. So we are not concerned with the constant value 1 and this divided by 2. We are not concerned with that. We are only concerned with the value which we have opened here. So n square plus n. So this is n square plus n, which is which number has the higher what you say exponentiation. N square is the one. Right? We'll keep that only. N square plus n, we'll keep the higher number having the exponent 2. So n square will be the thing which will be keep. So Tn will be equal to O n square. Is the efficiency time of this recurrence relation. Can you understand how you are finding out?
Yes,
You
ma'am.
keep on substituting the values, and later on you substitute k k as the arbitrary value where n is equal to k, and then you will put n only, and then you will find out your final time or efficiency. Right? This is substitution method. When we talk about recursion tree method, now recursion tree method, what is happening is you have, suppose this equation Tn is equal to 1 if n is equal to 0, and Tn minus 1 plus n if n is greater than 0. This is the equation, n minus 1 plus n. So first you will say Tn, you are saying you will take for Tn minus 1, n minus 2, n minus 3 up to T0 they are saying, just an example. So Tn is equal to 1 plus 2 plus n minus 3 plus n minus 2 plus up to n. So they are saying that this n minus 1 plus n, which is this one only, which is actually n into n plus 1 divided by 2, n square plus n by 2, or you can say n square only. So O n square was a value. So this was according to this only, according to substitution one. But when we go for this tree method, how it finds out is suppose this is the equation Tn is equal to 1 if n is equal to 1, 2t n by 2 plus n if n greater than 1. If this is the thing you have to find out, so you will keep Tn, right? Now you have n by 2 here. If you see here, so first you have Tn, so you have 2t n by 2 it is there. So first you are saying you have 2 times n by 2, so you have put it here, Tn by 2 Tn by 2 here, right? Then you are saying n by 2 to the power 2, n by 2 to the power 2. This way you keep on substituting 2 times this n, this constant n we are not considering, we are just considering this one. So same way n by 2 again, you can say n by 2 to the power 4 you can substitute, or whatever you can substitute here. So this way it is substituting, and it is saying that here T1 at the end and up to, you have to go up to T111. This tree will go up to 111, right? So here it is saying n by 2 to the power k is equal to 1. We are saying that n by 2 to the power k is ultimately it come out to be 1, equal to 1. So n is equal to, because it is division, what will it this 2 to the power k will come out to be? N is equal to 2 to the power k, 1 into 2 to the power k it will become, because we have taken this 2k here. So it will become n is equal to 2 to the power k, and 2 to the power k, if you have to calculate k is equal to log n. For exponentiation it is calculated like that. So Tn is equal to n divided by Kn is equal to 1 by k, or you can say Tn is equal to n log n. So O, for this algorithm it is O n log n, which is there. Because here k is log n only, so it is n log n for the time being. This is how they have put it in the substitution method. But if in our book, if we see recursion tree method, so here we make a recursion tree for given recurrence. As to make a recursion tree, first put the value of fn at the root node. Here we have put the value of fn, and make a number of child nodes of this root value fn. So you have to make a number of child nodes of this root value. So here it is at n by b plus n. Right, now we have to find the value of t n by b by putting n by b in place of n in equation 1. That is n by b is equal to at n by b if plus f n by b So actually this equation, you should understand this. First is Fn, def n by b, n by b. How this n by b is decided? How many n by b you have to take? This a. By this a. Whatever the value of a is there, this much times you have to, suppose it is 2, a is 2. So 2 times you will put Fn by b. Right? Then in the next substitution, you will put Fn by b square. Again 2 times. Then in the next substitution, yes.
One doubt means how it omit that n means that function it only continue with that a into t of n by b and you omit that n now this part.
We are not
Yes.
considering the n. N is okay, and you do not have to solve n. N is the number of terms which are there, right? So we are considering this one basically. A t n by b. So a is the any number which will be there, 2, 3, whatever number will be there, right? So this value and t n by b. So 2 times this n by b will be there. So first our function is there. Then under that a times a number of child nodes will be there. So Fn by b up to how many a is there. So if it is 2, it will have 2. Then you square the denominator t n by b square, t n by b square in both these subordinate child nodes, and then you again go up to. So now this way you can expand a tree one more level, that is up to at least 2 levels. So up to 2 levels we have expanded. Now you have to find per level cost of a tree. Per level cost is a sum of the cost of each node at that level. For example, per level cost at level 1 is n by b plus fn by b plus fn by b a times. So this is called row sum. So how many number of times you are calculating Fn by b plus Fn by b a times. So that is row sum. Now the final cost of the tree can be obtained by taking the sum of the cost of all the levels. The total cost of the sum of the cost of L0, level 0, level 1 up to level k. So suppose level 0 is this, then level 0, level 1, something like that, you are finding the sum of the cost. This is called column sum. So let us take an example. So they are saying solve the recurrence-ation n is equal to 2t n by 2 plus n using recurrence tree method. So first you make a recursion tree of a given recurrence. To make a recursion tree, you have to write the value of n at root node. So we have put the n at root node, and the number of child of a root node is equal to the value of a. A is 2. Here the value of a is 2. So the recursion tree will look like this: t n by 2, t n by 2, 2 times. Yes? Anybody is asking something? So now, yes. Somebody's mic is on, or what? Now we have to find the value of t n by 2 in figure A by putting n by 2 in place of n in equation 1. So they are saying now we have to find the value of t n by 2, this, in figure A, by putting n by 2 in place of n in equation 1. So here what they are saying in equation 1, we have this. This was our equation. So now what we are saying is, we are saying that t n by b, we are saying n by b we have to find out here. Instead of n, we have to find out n by 2. So n by 2 is equal to 2t n by 2 by 2, because we are saying n by 2 we are finding out now. So our root node will be n by 2 is equal to 2t n by 2 by 2 plus n. So what will be the result? 2t n by 2 square plus n by 2. Can you understand what does it mean?
Yes, ma'am. Is it a given that the relation should have a even number of this one? Will it always have
No.
even number
It
of
is
children?
according to your equation. It is not
Okay.
given. It is given according to the recurrence relation. What is given?
Okay. If I don't have a even number, then I by default take it as 2 children at that
Yeah,
root.
you can take that.
And then the
Just
second
hold
one,
on for a second.
Hello. Hello.
I think ma'am is in a call.
Yeah, sorry. Yes.
Ma'am, my question was that if what happens if the coefficient of our first first term uh, is not a multiple of 2.
It can be 3 now. It can be 4
So
also.
yes,
So
but
that number of times you have to put this now.
yes, but if it
If
cannot
it
be
is
less than 2,
if
if it
it
is
is yeah, if it is less than
2, then it doesn't.
1 time, then you don't require it to write there 1 na.
I don't
Then
need
it
to
is
draw
only
a
1
tree.
time to do it.
Okay, and it cannot be a fractional value, no, ma'am. It has to be a integer multiple only.
Generally.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Right, so now we are dividing it by the n by 2, so you are keeping n by 2, then you are finding out in your equation 2t n by 2 by 2, which is 2t n by 2 square plus n by 2. So this will you will get, right? From equating 2, now n by 2 will be the value of the node having 2 branch child nodes. So it will be like this: n by 2 then t n by 2 square, t n by 2 square of n by 2, and n by 2 t n by 2 square of n t n by 2 square. Right, because it is always 2t, so it is 2 times only of both the previous child terms. Now t n by 2 in figure A will be replaced as this. Right. In this way, you can extend a tree up to boundary condition when problem size becomes 1. So you keep on doing it until your problem becomes what? 1. This n by 2 square and n by 2 becomes all the terms becomes 1. So the final tree will look like this. We are just assuming that later on it will become, at some point it will become 1, right? So now we find the per level cost of a tree. Per level cost is the sum of the cost within each level called row sum. Here per level cost, for example, per level cost at depth 2 in figure C can be obtained as n by 2 plus n by 2 plus n by 2 plus n by 2 this. Suppose this depth level we are taking this one, n by 2 plus n by 2 plus n by 2 plus n by 2, this depth level, which is equal to n by 2 square means. So then the total cost is the sum of the cost of all level called column sum, which gives the solution of a given recurrence. The height of a tree is total cost is n plus n plus n plus up to n. So they are saying that suppose you are calculating n by 2 square the depth up to here, you are saying n by 2 square plus n by 2 square plus n by 2 square plus n by 2 square. If we don't consider the denominator, it will be n plus n, which is n only, right? So and each level is giving you n result only. This is n. This is also giving you n. This is also giving you n. So up to 1, you will be having 1 n only result. So all the columns also you have to find the column sum also. So n plus n plus n plus up to whatever n. you are finding your result. This is a third thing. So to find the sum of the series, you have to find the total number of terms in this series. To find the total number of terms, you have to find the height of a tree. Height of a tree can be obtained as follows. See recursion tree of figure C. You start a problem of size n, then problem size reduces to n by 2, then n by 2 square, and so on till boundary condition problem size 1 is not reached. So that is n by 2 n up to n by 2 to the power k. At last level, problem size will be equal to 1, like this. So n upon 2 to the power k is equal to 1. And that if we put this denominator here, it will be n is equal to 2 to the power k, which is equal to k is equal to log 2n. Two to the power k, so if you have to find the k, it will be log 2n. Thus, k represent the height of the tree. Hence, height is equal to k is equal to log 2n. Hence, the total cost in equation is this n plus n plus n up to log 2n terms is equal to n log 2n. This will be your final term, final equation. This is how you can find this one also. Now you don't have here any here any constant value. See, nothing is there. That means one time only. N t n by 3, t 2n by n 3.
Such cases we will have multiple terms so that we can form a tree.
Yeah.
There. Yes, ma'am.
So now here n by 3 is now n by 3 square and 2n by 3 square. Here 2n by 3 is 2n by 3 square plus and 4n by 3 square, like that. Right, and then they are saying it will come at the end up to 1 size. So again, you are keeping 2 to the power 3 to the power k. Because you are taking this one. Just hold on. Sorry. So we are taking this 2 by 3 to the power 2 by 3 to the power k. This is what they are taking, which is equal to 1. So k is equal to log 3 by 2n. This is how they are calculating height of the tree. N log 2n. You can also say here 2n by 3 here. They have not put 2n by 3, but you can put it here, and 2n by 3 square. So this is the equation they are saying, 2n by 3n, which implies 2n by 3 to the power 2n, and which goes up to 1. So it is 2 by 3 k. Or n also you can write it here, 2n by 3 to the power k, which is equal to 1, and k will be equal to log 3 by 2n.
Hello, one doubt.
It is coming out to be, I think, n log 2n only.
Hello, one doubt.
Yes?
Earlier, previous example, when we were showing that branch, the tree is coming with the coefficient of n is is it's, symmetrical, means in each level either it will be 1 by 2 square or
There you have this kind of an
together,
equation,
but
not 2t n by 2.
correct. Yes.
So you have 2
But
times you are taking it. 2 times n by 2 you have to take it. So that's
yeah,
why 2
but
times
now
you are n by 2 square, then you are doing n by 2 whatever, it keeps on increasing up to you
yes.
come to a level where it will be 1.
Okay, that part I
Right?
understood. Means
But
for
here
that
here
reason,
your equation
yeah.
is different. Here your equation is t n by 3 t and 2n by 3 t n by 3 t 2n by 3, right?
Means my question is
n
like
by
means in each level we have 1 by 3 square, 2 by 3 square, 2 by 3
yeah. So
square, 4 by 3
suppose
square.
suppose
Why
we
we
go,
okay?
we are squaring
Uh,
it now. Suppose we are going n by 3, so we are going for t n by 3 square, then 2n by 3 square. There are 2 terms only na here. Why we are going? Because if you see, we find the per level cost. So here, sorry, where was it? Here, height of the tree. Where was it?
below height of the trees mentioned.
So we are replacing it by this. Suppose now we have to find t n by 2. Suppose if you have to find, instead of n here, you say it is t n by 2. Instead of tn, it is n by 2. So you have to substitute everywhere 2 here. T n by 2 2 divided by 2. T n by 2 divided by 2 plus n by 2. Can you see that?
Yes. Yeah.
You are substituting here n by 2. Instead of this n, you are substituting n by 2. So what will this become? N by 2 divided by 2. Yes? Plus n by 2. So that's why square. Can you understand?
That part means this problem I understood.
That's why
I'm
n,
asking about
n by 2 square.
means I understood this part, but in the next question,
So you will substitute n
implementation.
by 3 n by 3 by n by 3 by 3. So n by 3 you have to substitute in this part. In this part you are substituting n by 3 in n. So if n by 3 is there, so n by 3 divided by 3 will be there. N by 3 divided by 3 will be there, na? If you
At the end,
substitute,
when we're
instead of
calculating the
n,
height,
you substitute n by 3. So n by 3 divided by 3 will be there, right? So it will be n by 3 square. Yes or no?
yeah, correct.
That's why. Now what is there? So this way you are finding out the, what is it? What is this method? Tree method. Now generally your these two methods generally come. The master method doesn't come, but let me see where is the master method. I don't think so they have given it, because this is their master method. So a function fn is asymptotically positive if and only if there exists a real number n such that fx is greater than 0 for all ax greater than n. The master method provides us a straightforward method of solving recurrences of the form Tn is equal to a t n by b plus fn, where a is greater than 1 and b is greater than 1 are constants and fn is an asymptotic positive function. This recurrence gives us the running time of an algorithm that divides a problem of size n into a subproblem of size n by 2. As there sub-problems are solved recursively, each in time t and n by b. The cost of dividing the problem and combining the results of the problem is described by the function fn. This recurrence is technically correct only when n by b is an integer. So the assumption will be made that n by b is either n divided by b or this, since such a replacement does not affect the asymptotic behavior of the recurrence. So here what they have given is so they have given. So here what we are saying that the problem is divided into number of subproblems, each of size n by b, and need time fn to combine the section, and then the running time tn can be tn is equal to a tn by b plus fn, where a is greater than equal to 1 and b is greater than equal to 1. Fn is asymptotically positive function. N by b means n by b or n by b. You can say that positive numbers are there. Tn can be bounded asymptotically as follows. Fn is less than log n log b a, or Fn is equal to n log b to the power a minus p for some constant p is greater than 0, then Tn is equal to theta n log b to the power a. Fn is equal to n log b to the power a, or Fn is equal to theta n log b to the power a, then Tn is equal to theta n log b to the power a log n. Here what they have given is, suppose your function is Tn is equal to 90 n by 3 plus n. Tn is equal to a t n by b plus Fn. A is 9, b is 3, Fn is n. So log b a is equal to log 3 9, which is equal to 2. So this a is not power, this is a normal. So log b, so you are finding log 3 of 9, which is 2. Fn is less than n log ba, that is n log ba is 2, so it is n square. And n is less than n square, so Fn is equal to O log n b a minus p. So O, that is log b a is n square, b to the power a. Log n log b to the power a is n square. So here you are saying log b to the power a minus p. If p is 1, then you are saying O n to the 2 minus 1, which is O n only. So Tn is equal to theta n square. This. So Fn is n only, that means our time will be n square, theta n square. Actually, these conditions you have to keep in mind. These conditions which are there, this you have to keep in mind. Fn is less than n log b to the power a, or Fn is equal to O n log b to the power a minus p for some constant p is greater than 0, then Tn is equal to theta log n by b. So they are saying if your Fn is less than this, whatever you find out, n log b to the power a, if n log b to the power a is less than Fn, the Fn is less than this, either this function is there, or if it is equal, Fn is equal to your O n log b to the power a minus p, where some constant p is greater than 0, then your function will return this. When your function is less than this or equal to this for some constant, then your time will be running time will be equal to theta n log b to the power a. So that's why here your theta time is b to the power a. That means Tn is equal to theta n square. This. Right. For another equation is Fn is equal to n log b to the power a, or Fn is equal to theta log n b to the power a, then Tn is equal to theta n log b to the power a log n. So now Fn is equal to theta here. So it will give you this. So let us see some other example. So here they are saying Tn is equal to Tn minus 3, n by 3 plus 1. So Tn is equal to a T n by b plus Fn. So suppose A we are saying it is 1, B we are saying it is 3, and Fn is 1. So here n log b to the power a, this always you have to find in this. N log b to the power a, you have to find this first. So you have to find this a, you are just assuming that a is this, b is this, and then function is this, and you are saying this function, this t n by 3 plus 1, you have put this function in this equation, a t n by b plus fn, and you are saying here a will be 1 and b will be 3. From here it is 3, and Fn you are saying it is 1 from this equation. A we are taking some arbitrary value. Here A is nothing, so we are saying it is 1. From this equation we are finding out A and B. So from this equation you have no value here, so it is 1. B you are 3, and Fn function is 1. This is the equation you have to keep in mind. This is the equation you have to keep in mind always while solving this according to master method, and you have to always find n log b to the power a. So if you have to find for this equation, a is 1, b is 3, and Fn is 1, and you have to find n log b to the power a. So log n log 3 to the power 1, 3 to the power 1. So log 3 to the power 1 will be equal to n to the n, which is 0. N to the power 0 it will give you. N to the power log 3 1, so it is giving you n to the power log b to the power a, so it is giving you 0, right? Then n log b to the power a n to the power 0, what will be the value? Anything to the power 0 is what?
1.
1. So it is giving you 1 here, right? So Fn is equal to n log b to the power a. So Fn is 1, and n log b to n to the power log b to the power a is also 1, according to this, what we are getting. So Tn will be equal to theta n log b to the power a, right here. We are getting an equal function here, not less than. We are getting equal function here. So it will be theta n log b to the n to the power log b to the power a log n. So here you are getting theta n log b to the power a log n. So theta, this is 1 only, and this only remains as log n. Can you understand how master method is working? Can you understand, class? These three things, these 3 things you have to remember.
Yes, ma'am.
Bound according to these 3 conditions you have to remember. This you have to either learn it or remember it. So you have to just understand that these 3 methods will be used here. Again, another function they are saying Tn is equal to 3t n by 4 plus n log n. Suppose this is a function you have. So again your a is 3, b is 4, and Fn is n log n. Fn is n log n. Right? So now you have to find n to the power log b to the power a. So n to the power log b to the power a you have to find. So it is n log 4 to the power 3, n to the power log 4 to the power 3, which is This we have to see from the log functions only. So n log b to the power a is giving us, this is giving you to n to the power 0.793 something, some value 0.793, right? Fn is equal to n, Fn is greater than n log b to the power n to the power log b to the power a. So that,
excuse me, ma'am.
yes.
Ma'am, are we allowed to use scientific calculators, or how, to find that log 3 by log 4? Can we? Are we allowed to
You
use?
will not get these kinds of questions maximum number of times where you have to find the logarithm. But if such a situation is there, maybe they will be having a logbook available there. But these kinds of questions generally will not be asked where you require a logbook. You understand?
So calculators will not be allowed. So we will have to.
Calculators for this paper is not allowed.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Yeah.
Right. So Fn is there. Fn greater than log b to the power log n to the power log b to the power a, which is Fn is n log n greater than n to the power 0.793. Right. If such a situation is there where n log n is where your function is greater than n log n to the power log b to the power a, if this is a situation, then your function will be Tn is equal to theta Fn. Right. So here, what is there? So theta n log n is equal to theta n to the power 0.793 plus 1. Right. This is your whatever value. I'm not giving a plus 1 here. Just simply write Tn is equal to theta n log n. This is the result. Simple result. Theta Fn. Theta Fn is your n log n. So theta n log n is the result. Fn.
Ma'am, if it is okay with you, can you share this workout with us, ma'am? Because I think in our textbook.
I'll share it with you.
Okay.
I'll share it in the group.
Thank you, ma'am.
Right. So this is your master method. So these are the 3 methods for solving the recurrence relation. Can you understand? It is not given here. Actually, they have solved it, but they have not given the actual. These are the 3 cases actually.
Yes, the method of solving them.
Yeah, method of solving. But they have given some E and all that. I'm not talking about that. I have given it straightforwardly what will come out to. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
So these are the 3 methods. So this is your block 1. This was all about block 1. So in block 1, you studied about asymptotic notation, how to find out the different, performance of the algorithm. How do you find out, and about how to find out the performance or how to solve the recurrence relation. This is all about block 1. We also, so now in block 2, in block 2, if we go, so block 2 is now greedy technique. So we talked about the greedy technique. What is a greedy technique, if you understand? Anybody knows about greedy technique?
Yes, ma'am. So if we are trying to solve a problem, we try a breakdown into multiple problems, and at each step we try to find the optimal solution, or hoping that these optimal solutions will lead to the final optimal solution.
Yes. And that optimization approach which you are talking about will be according to the, it can be a maximum or a minimum, whatever you want, right?
Correct, ma'am. Correct.
Really according
Based
to
on
the
the question.
maximum optimization or minimum, whatever optimal solution you want. So suppose they are giving you an example. Suppose we are planning to travel from location A to location B, and there are different modes like bike, car, train, or plane to complete this journey. Right. The problem is to determine which mode is the best to complete this journey. Now, your optimization problem can be the fastest you can reach, or minimum time it takes to reach, right? Whatever can be there. So this is an optimization problem, as we want the best mode among all the possible modes to complete this journey, and the best mode represent the optimal solution to this problem. Right. So let's say if we need to cover this journey with minimum cost, then if it is minimum cost, I'm not saying the fastest route or the minimum time it will take. It is saying minimum cost. So which will give you the minimum cost? Tell me from these three. Then this optimization problem will be termed as minimization problem. So whether car will give you the minimum, train will give you the minimum cost, or plane will give you the minimum cost. That is what they are asking.
Train. Yeah.
Train.
Right. So suppose it is given that the time taken to complete this journey on bike and car is more than 12 hours. According further, we can need to complete the journey within 12 hours due to some urgency. Now the time constraint is also there. Right. You have to minimize the problem according to the cost, and also time constraint is there that within 12 hours you have to reach. There is some urgency. The constraint is there, right? You have to minimize the cost also, and you have to reach the destination within 12 hours. So it is given that the time taken to complete this journey on bike and car is more than 12 hours. So if bike and car takes more than 12 hours, then while it takes less than 12 hours on train and a plane, so which will give you now? Train will give you less cost, and within 12 hours you will reach. So thus train and plane are possible modes of solution to complete this journey. Therefore both these solutions are termed as feasible, as they are satisfying the constraint of our problem. Formally, a solution which satisfies all constraints of the problem is termed as feasible solution. A solution which is best among all feasible solution is termed as optimal solution. Now these two are your feasible solution, and from this the train is the optimal solution. That is the answer. The minimum cost will be the train, which will give you the optimal solution. That is example. They're just giving you an example, right? Problem formulation here is so the solution returned by greedy approach may not always be optimal. So it is not necessary that that greedy approach will give you an optimal solution. Depends upon the criteria. Moreover, greedy approach may not be appropriate from some optimization problems where other approaches can be used for solving, like dynamic programming and branch and bound can be used. Instead, it is not giving you optimized solution. Greedy approach is not giving you optimized solution. So you can use dynamic programming instead of greedy. But we are talking right now about greedy approach. So in an optimization problem definition is termed as cost, effects, and maximization or minimization of the cost function corresponds to the objective function of the optimization. The maximize effects is there, where AIX is greater than equal to 0 and BIX is equal to 0 and CKX is less than equal to 0, where X is considered solution for the set of solution from S, where AIX, BJX, and CKX correspond to possible set of constraints on an optimization problem. They are just denoting it in maximize how to use that. So you have input domain. Generally, an optimization problem has n inputs. Call this set as input domain or candidate set A. We are required to obtain a subset of A, call it solution set S, that satisfies the given constraints or conditions. Any subset S which satisfies the given constraint is called a feasible solution. We need to find a feasible solution that maximizes or minimizes a given objective function. So the feasible solution that does this is called an optimal solution. That is what we do. So greedy algorithm proceeds step by step by considering one input at a time. Each stage, the decision is made regarding whether a particular input, say X, chosen gives an optimal solution or not. Our choice of selecting input X is being guided by the selection function, say select. If the inclusion of X gives an optimal solution, then this input X is added into the partial solution set. On the other hand, if the inclusion of that input X results in an infeasible solution, then this input X is not added to the partial solution. So the input we tried and rejected is never considered again. When a greedy algorithm works correctly, the first solution found in this way is always optimal. In brief, at each stage, the following activities are performed in the greedy method. First, we select an element, say from input domain A. Then we check whether the solution set S is feasible or not. That is, we check whether X can be included into the solution set S or not. If yes, then solution set is put in, X is put in that. If no, then this input X is discarded and not added to the partial solution set. Initially, S is an empty set. Right. Continue until S is filled up, optimal solution found, or A is exhausted, whichever is earlier. From the set of feasible solution, particular solution that satisfied or nearly satisfied the objective of the function, either maximize or minimize, as the case may be, is called the optimal solution. So this is what we have to do. Right. So here they are saying, suppose there is a list of tasks along with the time taken by each task. However, you are given with limited time only. The problem is, which set of tasks will you be doing so that you can complete maximum number of tasks in the given amount of time, right? So you are given a list of tasks, like here you have this example they are saying. So the intuitive approach would be greedy approach, and the task selection criteria would be to select the task with the slowest amount of time. So the first task will be that task which takes minimum time. The next task would be the one that takes minimum time among the remaining set of tasks, and so on. For example, consider a bus which can travel up to 40 kilometers with full tank. We need to travel from location A to location B, which has distance of 95 kilometers as depicted in figure 1. So A to B, the total distance is 95 kilometers, and in between A and B there are 4 gas stations, G1, G2, G3, G4, right, which are at distance of 20 kilometers. G1 is 20 kilometers from A, G2 is 37.5 kilometers from A, 55 kilometers is G3, 75 kilometers is G4. These are gas stations, right, from location A. The problem is to determine the minimum number of refills needed to reach from location B from location A. Right. So how many minimum gas stations you require to refill your thing so that you reach from A to B. And the bus can travel up to 40 kilometers. Right. So suppose the tank refill decision criteria is considered to refill at the gas station which is nearest when the tank is about to get empty. So first our criteria is that our bus can travel up to 40 kilometers. Right. So we have to refill our tank when it is nearing this 40 kilometer mark. So for G1 it is 20 kilometer from A. So we don't need that. We don't need to refill. Then next gas station is 37.5. So here we have to refill because it is nearing our 40 kilometer mark. You understand that?
Yes.
Right. So according to the criteria, if we start from location A, the tank will be refilled at the second gas station G2, which is 37.5 kilometers from A. After this again, we can travel up to 40 kilometers, right? From 37.5 now again 40 kilometers we can add up, right?
Yes.
We have refilled our this. So after this, we need to refill at the fourth gas station, that is this one, which is 75 kilometers, right? So G4, which is at a distance of 37.5 kilometers again. So from G2 to G4, it is 37.5 kilometers. So again, we will refill at G4. From G4, we can easily reach the location B as it is 20 kilometers from here. 95 kilometers the distance was, 75 to 95 it is 20 more, so we can reach there easily. Do you understand how we have found out the solution? For example, they have given you. So formulation of greedy technique, what all things you have to do to formulate the problem is, for a given problem with n input values, the greedy approach will decide criteria to select values termed as selection criteria and will run for n times. In each run, following steps will be performed. It will perform selection based upon the selection criteria. This returns a value from the considered input values and also removes the selected value from the input values. If it will check the feasibility of the selected value. If the solution is feasible, then the solution value is added to the solution set, else step 1 is repeated. Based on the above discussion, we developed a template, or you can say a template or an algorithm for this. So greedy algo template, A and N is there. So an input domain or candidate set A of size N from which solution is to be obtained. So this is your set. Function select a candidate set, return an element or candidate. Function solution S, solution set return boolean. So function feasible, solution set return boolean, again true or false. Output an optimal solution set S, where S which maximize and minimize the solution criteria with respect to the given constraints. So S is your empty, initial solution set is empty, while not solution set and A not equal to null. That means your number of candidate or input size is not 0, and your solution has not reached, or no solution is there, solution set is not there. Select A in X. So select the first value from the A in X or any variable. Then if once X is selected, so it is removed from your candidate set, that is the set of n values, it is removed from that. So from A you are removing X. Now you will see if feasible S union X. Then if your value, if that X is feasible solution, then you will check it that it is feasible, and you will put that X in the set S. That is your solution set, if it is feasible. And if it is not feasible, if it is not feasible, then you have already removed it from the set, right? So you will not keep it anywhere. So you will not keep in the set S also, in the solution set also. If your now all the you keep on doing this, right? You will select X until this is reached, until your solution set is full and your candidate is empty. You will keep on checking it and keeping it in the solution set, whether it is feasible or not. And once you have found the solution set, if solution S, if a solution is found, return S, else return no solution. So this is just an algorithm they have created. Now they have given you an example of jobs, J1, J2, J3, J4, J5, 5 jobs are there, and the time required to complete the jobs is there. Right. In this problem, second row represents the time taken to accomplish the corresponding job. The problem is to count maximum number of jobs that are possible in the given time limit, that is T6. So they are saying in time is 6. In 6 time, you have to complete the maximum number of jobs. How many jobs can be completed? Maximum jobs have to be completed. The time required for completing the job is given. So solution input is A is your set of jobs, J1, J2, J3, J4, J5, and that means n is equal to 5. Number of jobs are 5. Now criteria is select the task that has minimum time. So step 1, select task J3. The minimum time of J3 is 1. Right? As the minimum time is 1. Now this solution is feasible according to the problem domain. It is less than 6, less than equal to 6, and you can consider this as the feasible solution. So add this solution to set S, that is your solution set. So J3 is added to S. Remaining time limit, now this one has to be subtracted from your 5 jobs were there. So this has this J3 has to be subtracted, and time limit has to be decreased. So time limit was 6. Now time limit remaining is 6 minus 1 is 5. Right? Time limit was 6. So 6 minus 1 is 5. Now removing the task J3 from A. So we have removed J3 from A. This task is removed because it has gone to your set. Now remains J1, J2, J4, J5. Now from the rest, removing J3, from the rest, the minimum time next is 2. So that is J4. So select the task J4 as the minimum time is 2. Now the solution, it is a feasible solution. So you put J3 and J4 as a time in your set, right? And because remaining time was 5 minus 2 will be 3 is the remaining time. So now, and you will remove from A J4. So now your jobs are J1, J2 and J5. Right, from them the minimum is J3, J1, right? So from where is that? Remove okay, J3 is removed. Select the task J1 as the minimum time is 3, right? And remaining time is 3 only, which is left. So we can take J1 as the minimum time is 3. So solution is feasible and we will put it in our set. So our set becomes J3, J4, J1 and remaining time limit now 3 minus 3 which becomes 0. So our time limit has been completed 6. So we will remove now J1 also. So the remaining task is J2 and J5. Select J2 as the minimum 7. So the solution is infeasible. J5 also we select. Solution is infeasible as we have already reached the time limit. So and we keep on removing the task also. So our A is empty, and our set of jobs are these: J3, J4, J5, J1. So the maximum number of jobs that can be done within the given time limit is 3 jobs only. This is a greedy. This is an example they have given. Right. So I'm just going to the greedy approach. So first problem which is coming out to be is the fractional knapsack problem. So this fractional knapsack problem can come in your theory examination also, and in your practical examination also. Right, so this is an optimization problem which we want to solve it through greedy technique. In this problem, a knapsack or a bag of some capacity is considered, which is to be filled with objects. We are given some objects with their weights and associated profits. The problem is to fill the given knapsack with objects such that the sum of the profit associated with the objects that are included in the knapsack is maximum. So the constraint in this problem is that the sum of the weight of the objects that are included in the knapsack should be less than or equal to the capacity of the knapsacks. However, the objects can be included in fractions to the knapsack, because of which this problem is termed as fractional knapsack problem. Suppose you have the knapsack or your bag of capacity of 10 kg and your objects are of different weights, right? You can only fill in up to 10 kg of objects in that bag. So you can also have fraction of the weight also. Half of the object weight can be put in the bag. So that's why it is called fractional knapsack, right? Therefore, there is another kind of knapsack problem termed as 0-1 knapsack problem, in which objects are not considered in fraction. The whole object is included in the knapsack. That is why it is termed as 0-1 knapsack problem. So right now that is, I think, in dynamic programming, 0-1 knapsack problem comes. In greedy approach, the problem is fractional knapsack. So again, in a fractional knapsack, given a list of n objects, say O1, O2, On, and a knapsack or a bag, capacity of knapsack is W. Each object OI has a weight WI and a profit PI. So if a fraction xi, where xi is less than xi is an element of 0 to 1 of an object OI is placed into a knapsack, then a profit of PI xi is earned. Right, so this much profit you will earn if you select that particular fraction element or whatever. So the problem or objective is to fill a knapsack up to a maximum capacity, right? So this is what they have formalized: maximum sigma I is equal to 1 to n, pi into xi you have to find out. This is a constraint you have to find out. So what we will do, the question. The example of this question we will do in the next class, because I think the time is over right now. So we will do this question in the next class, that is tomorrow. and we will be talking about this knapsack problem, task scheduling algorithm. So these are all greedy approach algorithms which we will be talking about. Huffman code is there, right? So these are all the algorithms. So you should know these algorithms, how to write the algorithm, and what is the solution to the problem what it is creating. So we will know that in the next class. So we will talk about. Yes.
Ma'am, one question. You were telling that these knapsack algorithms and all for both theory as well as practicals. For
Yes.
practicals, do we have to write implement these algorithms in
Yes.
only C++,
Yes,
or
can
can we use any language, ma'am?
Any
Can we
language,
use Python?
any language. Yes, you can use Python also. If you are conversant with Python, you can use Python.
Okay, okay. Thank you, ma'am. Yeah.
No problems in that.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So, any other doubt?
No. Ma'am, how will you be sharing this document with us, ma'am?
I think you have a group in on WhatsApp.
No, ma'am. We don't have a group.
No, you have okay. First semester.
We have, ma'am. We have a
semester.
group.
Okay. I forgot.
I will share the link of the group.
Yes.
No.
Please do that.
Yes, ma'am. Just give me a second.
You can give me the link on the chat group. I will copy that and I'll add myself in the link.
Yes, sure, ma'am. I'm doing that.
Any other problem?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Can you also share some important questions for exam point of view?
For the exam point of view, important question, please go to, do you know the, you have question papers, everybody knows previous year, where to find the previous year question papers or not?
Ma'am, from the website.
Yes. Just say IGNOU question paper and they will lead to a website. This is your website. Can you see that?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. You can go for December if it is uploaded in December 2024 paper, June 2024, December 2023, June 2000. Previous 5 question papers you can download. They are right. They are not uploaded yet. June 2025. I'm just giving an example. I don't know the website is working or not. June is working. So just say Control F, go to SOCIS, School of Computer and Information Sciences, and go to the June 2024. You will find MCA new there. Go to MCA new, not old one, right? And Design and Analysis of Algorithm. This is June paper. All the papers are there. All the subject papers are there, whichever subject you want. Right? So this is your June paper. First question will be compulsory. It will be of 40 marks. And the rest, you have to attempt any 3. So there are 5 questions. First is compulsory, and from the rest, you have to attempt any 3. So 3 hours paper. So this is the, like, use mathematical induction to prove this. Write recursive binary search algorithm, analyze complexity in the worst case scenario. What is an algorithm? Explain the characteristics of an algorithm. Multiply the following 2 matrix using Stratton's algorithm. So you just have to give the solution, how you multiply it. So we will talk about that later on. What is P and NP class of problem? Differentiate between NP hard and NP complete problem. This is also your 4th block. Explain quicksort algorithm using suitable example. Multiply the 2 numbers using Karstuba algorithm. That is also there. What is string matching algorithm? Derive its best time complexity. That is there. What is minimum spanning tree? Write the Prim's algorithm to find the minimum spanning tree. That is there. This is second question. This from A to H is the first question, which is compulsory. Second question, second, third, fourth, and fifth, you have to attempt any 3. right? So second is what is minimum spanning tree? Write the Prim's algorithm, and B part is write an algorithm for topological sort, obtain a topological ordering for the following graph. Third is the best case analysis, not as important as the worst case analysis of an algorithm. Yes or no, justify your answer with the help of an example. Sort the following sequence of numbers using selection sort. Also find the comparison and copy operation required by the algorithm is sorting this list, right? So you have to do selection sort on this, and you have to find the number of comparison and how many copy operations you are doing. Explain the 0-1 knapsack. 0/1 that is fractional, not 0 or 1. I don't know if this is 0-1 knapsack or fractional knapsack. I think it is 0 or 1, 0-1, 0-1 knapsack. That is dynamic solution we have to find out. Give a divide and conquer based algorithm to find the ith smallest element in an array. So here through divide and conquer, we will find out the smallest element or ith smallest element in an array. Write Dijetra's algorithm to find the shortest path. Here you have to find the shortest path through Dijetra's algorithm. And apply Floyd-Warshall algorithm to find the shortest distance from the vertices. Also find the time complexity of the algorithm. So this is there, right? This is June. So you just go through the previous year question papers. See, all the algorithms you should know, whether they are giving you a graph or a different graph will be given to you. You have to find Prim's, you have to find Dijetra, you have to find whatever. So it's just an example, right? Understood? So these kinds of questions are asked. Any problems?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Everybody has put their attendance in the chat box. Anybody is left? So we'll meet tomorrow and do the greedy technique problems tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am.
Sure, ma'am.
So do you have any other class? I'll leave the
Yes,
session.
we have a
class. We have a class, right?
Yes. So I'm leaving the session. You can remain log in here, right?
Yes.
Okay. Take care. Bye.
Bye, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
I am finding two separate links. One was given by Ravi Kumar and Tarsem, and this is Pitambar Mali has given that please join this MCA group of study related. Which one I have to join?
Ma'am, you can join anyone because we have created both.
Okay, fine. So should I join Pitambar Mali, which Pitambar Mali has given?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Yeah, you can, or you can join the which I
ma'am,
have
the
given.
one.
Yes, ma'am, you can join.
The one what?
Pitambar Mali.
Okay, fine.
Thanks.
Okay, all those who have not joined that group, you can join the Pitambar Mali group. I'll be joining that and I will give you the content which I have got, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Take care then. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hello everyone. Hello everyone.
Yeah.
Hello, ma'am.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, guys.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Today we will start software engineering subject. Hello.
Okay, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Today we will start software engineering subject. Right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now tell me one question. Define software. Anybody guys? Define software.
Set of programs.
Set of programs or
It is an application which will help us to automate any functionality.
okay, we can say set of instructions, set of manual procedure plus documentation. Without documentation, we don't call it software, na? Set of instructions.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, and now next word is engineering. Anyone who will explain engineering? Now देखिए जो सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियरिंग है वो आपके दो वर्ड से मिलकर बना है, सॉफ्टवेयर और इंजीनियरिंग. तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल हम देखते हैं सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियरिंग की डेफिनेशंस. SE is the discipline of applying engineering principles to the design, development, testing, maintenance of software system. जो आपका सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियरिंग है इसमें आपके फेजेस इंक्लूड होंगे, डिजाइन, डेवलपमेंट, टेस्टिंग, मेंटेनेंस, राइट? Or we can say it ensure that software is reliable, efficient, maintainable, scalable. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I will give you only 3 questions first of all, right? So first one is define software engineering. Please write down. If you have pen and paper, please write down. Only 3 questions. First one is define software engineering. Next question is explain software characteristics. Second question is explain software characteristics. And last question is explain SDLC. Question number 3 is explain SDLC, software development life cycle. I will give 15 minutes. Okay.
Ma'am?
Yes?
Ma'am, can you repeat question number 2? Explain software.
Characteristics. Software characteristics.
Okay, ma'am.
Right? फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल हम ये क्वेश्चन करेंगे, तीनों क्वेश्चन, उसके बाद हम स्टार्ट करेंगे सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियरिंग. These 3 all are the base of the software engineering. First one is definition, second one is characteristics, and last one is software development life cycle. तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आप सभी MCA के स्टूडेंट्स हो तो BCA में कहीं ना कहीं आपको आइडिया होगा. तो एक बार इन तीनों क्वेश्चंस का आंसर लिखें एग्जैक्टली 15 मिनट्स आफ्टर. आप मुझे आंसर बताओगे तब हम स्टार्ट करेंगे, राइट? तो सभी पेन और पेपर या अदरवाइज जो भी आपके पास अवेलेबल है. यस. एग्जैक्टली 4:25 पे, ठीक है? अभी आप आंसर लिखें. आई होप यू विल अंडरस्टैंड. ओके.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
मम्मी इसको बोल दे फोटो भेज दे